Hi everyone and welcome back to Googie's Kitchen, and if you are new here then hello and welcome. My name's Alexis and today I want to share with you how to make my chocolate, beetroot and banana cake. As I just mentioned, today I want to share with you how to make my chocolate, banana and beetroot cake. Now this recipe is really easy, and the reason I'm making this now is because beetroot has started to come back into our shops. Beetroot I find is a seasonal vegetable. You can't always buy it all year round, and it always seems to come in about this time of year. So I start to see it on the shelves in our supermarkets and my local farm shop as well. And I love beetroot. I really enjoy cooking with it, and I normally make savoury foods with it. But today I thought I'd make a sweet dish for you, and this one is brilliant. If you've got any leftover beetroot and some old bananas, then this is a great recipe to use those up. And that's what I have today. So while I was making this delicious cake, I thought I'd share the recipe with you. So here is how to make my chocolate, beetroot and banana cake. First thing I'm going to do is preheat my oven to 200 degrees. While my oven is preheating, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pre-line and oil my baking tray. So here I have some sunflower oil, and I'm just going to put a little bit in the base of this baking tray. So I have a sort of square tin for this, but you could use any kind of tin you want to. And all I'm going to do now is just oil the base and around the sides. And then I've cut 2 pieces of greaseproof paper, and I'm going to put these inside, and then I'm going to put a bit of oil on the top of this one so it doesn't slide around. And I'll put the cake mixture in the cake. And then I'm going to put this one on top, like so, and I'm going to oil this as well. So I'm just going to put a little drop of oil in the base of this pan on top of the greaseproof paper, and I'm just going to spread that around the base and around the sides as well. So as you can see, I've cut these 2 pieces of greaseproof paper so they fit into the tin. So I just basically pulled the greaseproof paper out, laid it down and then cut a line across. But you could use a ruler and measure it if you wanted to as well. So yes. And that is my pre-lined baking tray greased. So I set my pre-lined baking tray aside for now, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to start mixing the dry ingredients together. So in this bowl here I have 200 grams of ground porridge oats. So I got some porridge oats and I just simply ground them up in my blender until they formed a flour like that. And I'm just going to put them into this mixing bowl. And then I've got 100 grams of ground almonds as well that I'm just going to put in here. And then I've got 100 grams of rice flour that I'm going to put in too. And then in this bowl here, I have about 50 grams of ground flaxseed. Now you might be thinking there's a lot of ingredients in here, and you don't have to add the ground flaxseed if you don't want to. That is optional, but it does give the cake a lot of flavour, texture, and it's just really nice, and it just adds a bit of extra vitamins. Shh, don't tell my family, okay? Some good vitamins and minerals are in flaxseed. And they're also great for your digestive system as well. So yes, trying to keep everyone healthy in this house, I am. And then in this bowl here I have about 50 grams of raw cacao powder. You could use cocoa powder if you want to, but I use the raw cacao powder, the organic, because it doesn't have any other ingredients in it. It's just simply taken from the tree and ground up. So it is the raw plant in there. So I'm just going to mix these together now. And then in this bowl here, I have 1 teaspoon of baking powder and 1 teaspoon of ground sweet cinnamon. If you're not a cinnamon fan, then you don't have to add it. Or if you fancy adding something like vanilla, then please do. I haven't tried it with vanilla. Cinnamon seems to be a regular spice in our cupboard. And I always like to use it because, again, it's really good for digestion as well. So it's another good one for digestion. So yes, so I'm going to mix all of this together now, and then I'm going to set this aside and I'm going to deal with my wet ingredients now. So now I'm going to deal with my wet ingredients, and what I've got here is 150 grams of coconut sugar. You don't have to use coconut sugar, you could use brown sugar if you wanted to. And I'm just going to pour that in. And then I've also got 150 grams of ghee. Again, you don't have to use ghee, you could use unsalted butter if you wanted to. And I'm just going to put that in. And I'm going to cream my butter and my sugar together now. While I'm whisking my butter and my sugar together, I'm also going to add in my eggs now. So I've got 2 eggs. I think they're medium eggs, and I'm just going to whisk these into this mixture now as well. And then I'm going to add in my banana. So I've got 3 ripe bananas and I've mashed those up, and I'm going to put those in. And then on this chopping board I have peeled and grated 1 red beetroot, so I'm going to put that in as well. And then I'm going to mix all of these ingredients together again now. Now that they're all mixed together, what I'm going to do is I'm going to add my dry ingredients to my wet ones. So I'm just going to put these in, and I'm going to mix the cake together. So what I've noticed is the cake is very heavy and it's very gloopy. It's probably more like a biscuit than it is a cake. So what I'm going to do is break the cake up a little bit. Is I'm going to add a little bit of milk. This is a non-dairy milk. It's coconut milk by Rude Health. You don't have to use this one. You could use any one of your choice if you want to. So I'm just going to mix this up, and I'm only going to add a little bit at a time. And I just want it more like a cake consistency, so a bit more runny than this. This is quite doughy, I have to say. I think the eggs I used the first time around were probably large eggs. So if you are using medium eggs, I would recommend that you use 3 eggs rather than 2, and that should make it quite runny. Or you can just add a bit of milk at the end if you want to. So that's becoming a bit more like cake mixture, although it is very heavy, I have to say. This isn't the lightest cake, excuse me, I just had to do that. So yeah, I'm just going to keep adding a little bit of milk, that's better. That's much better. And now I'm going to put this mixture into my baking tray. So I've just grabbed my baking tray from the side, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the cake mixture into the cake tin, like so, and then I'm going to smooth it out, if I can. Oh, this is quite heavy. So I'm going to smooth it out all over the base of the tin until it's hopefully quite even. I do like to get the last of the cake mixture out, I have to say. My grandmother had a motto, waste not, want. And I always stand here and think of her when I'm trying to empty a bowl. I'm like, I've got to get the last of it out, otherwise she'll come back and haunt me, I'm sure she will. She didn't like waste, my nan, I'll tell you that much. Especially when it came to food. So, I'm going to spread this across the base of the tin, like so, and then I'm going to put this into the oven for about 25 to 30 minutes now. So the cake has been in for about 30 minutes, and I'm just putting the skewer in, and it keeps coming out clean everywhere I put it in. So that means the cake is cooked. So I'm going to take this out and I'm going to leave this to cool now. So my cake has cooled, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to slice it up now. I would recommend that you do leave it to cool, because otherwise it tends to fall apart. If it's still quite warm when you cut it, it will fall apart quite easily. But this is beautifully cooked, I have to say. It's a really rich brownie. It's like a chocolate brownie, I suppose. And it's very rich. And it smells absolutely delicious as well. It's quite stodgy, so you probably only need a small piece of this. So I'm just going to cut myself a small piece and put it on a plate like so. So I just cut down there and I'd make this into small squares basically, because honestly you really don't need a lot of this. It is stodgy and rich but absolutely delicious. So that is my chocolate, beetroot and banana cake done. So that's how you make my delicious chocolate, beetroot and banana cake, and that recipe I will link in the description box below for you. As I mentioned earlier, I'm off to eat this with a cup of tea now. So that's it from me. Thank you so much for watching. Please feel free to give me a big thumbs up if you enjoyed this video, and please feel free to leave any comments below. And please don't forget to hit that subscribe button. See you all soon. Bye.